This is Stephen Ware with SSSE, and today I'm joined by Gary Edmonds of the Storage Manager to talk about self-storage property management. One of the biggest concerns is one of the riskiest elements of self-storage, and that's the lease-up. You've made it through the most risky, which is construction, and now you're moving on to slightly less risky of lease-up. Property management and operations is where that comes into play. What sort of strategies should somebody employ for lease-up?
Well, in a true lease-up situation where you've got zero occupancy day one, you need to be starting well before that. 3 to 4 months ahead of that, be starting to develop your online marketing program, start putting banners on the facility and coming soon and that type of thing, so that you've got some momentum going before you open the doors day one and go, oh, better fill them up now.
What about online? Is there anything that should specifically be done or not done? I know that marketing, you can spend any number of dollars.
That is true, and boy, it's easy to spend that too. One of the best ways is social media in the build-up, because you can do the coming soon and you don't have to spend a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram in order to reach a lot of people and try and build up some of that momentum ahead of time. At the same time, you don't want to get too aggressive, and you don't want that phone ringing off the hook 2 months ahead of time, because 2 months is a long time to get somebody to be on a waiting list. But just try and build the momentum and get things rolling a couple of months ahead of time, so that when you are ready, the phone's already ringing and not just starting.
So self-storage is a very interesting commercial real estate asset class because of how hyper-localized it is. You may live somewhere and work somewhere else, and there's 25 miles in between, but usually you're not driving 25 miles to go ahead and rent out a self-storage unit. Keeping that hyper-localized nature of self-storage in mind, what are some marketing activities geared towards lease-up that you would suggest that have to do with the local surroundings?
First of all, you have to look at your market. Primarily our market in self-storage is residential. Yeah, there's certainly a commercial component, but the easiest piece to market to is that residential market. And it's very easy to look from a map and see your facility and go, gee, here's all the houses over here. And with today's internet capabilities, it's very easy to target ads to that piece of real estate that might be a subdivision or 3 subdivisions or an apartment complex, rather than just wasting your money all over the place. So a very strategic format with those marketing dollars.
Is there any sort of benefit to getting involved with like a chamber of commerce?
Well, there's really 3 phases of our marketing plan. And the first is obviously working with the internet, and that's, Google's obviously the big player, but like I mentioned, the social media as well. But then secondly, there is the facility marketing. And that's when we put the banners up on the fences and the big lighted signs and make sure we're capturing that drive-by appeal. And then thirdly, it's the local grassroots efforts, working with the chamber on a grand opening, but just also staying in contact with the other chamber members, because there is a lot of business use for storage. And then there's visiting the apartment complexes and other sources of possible references, and all that can be done locally. So really there's just those 3 areas that we primarily focus on.
Well, it's fantastic to hear, Gary, because statistically 40% of renters come from online nowadays. 30% of renters come from physical site of the self-storage facility, and the remaining 30% is usually comprised of referrals, repeat customers, and guerrilla marketing efforts, all of which you're covering in your 3-step plan.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you learned more about property management and specifically the lease-up of self-storage facilities. Please like and subscribe for all things self-storage.